So we will proceed with the blessing of Medicine Buddha.
Now this is a tantric practice or tantric teaching. So the foundation, or I think this substantials of the material in order to practice Tantrayana, these two mental elements, understanding of shunya, and then bodhichitta. Without these two, almost impossible to proper practice
Tantra
of Buddhist Tantrayana. So now about bodhichitta we already touched briefly. Then also about shunya also we briefly touched. So now any sort of any action, physical action, verbal action, mental action, in order to be sort of causes for Buddhahood, they entirely depend on the motivation, bodhicitta motivation. Right. So we must have, that. At least in this moment, we must have that gem.
So we must at least try to cultivate that bodhicitta, even in a simulated form.
Then this concept, shunya. So roughly speaking, anatma. So that means the self entirely designated on the combination of body and mind. Not independent. Therefore, if we visualize new body, like deity body, if you meditate, or if your mind remain there, bit because of the longer period, then you can develop the feeling, I'm deity, because of the self designated on the combination of the body. So they deliberately, forget this body, rough body, and develop some subtle body in the mental level.
In your imagination.
Imagination. So you see that meditation is strong enough, then you get the feeling of I'm deity. So that's the tantric. So now in order to dissolve, this rough body, the method, understand the ultimate reality of self as well as the body. There is no independent because of the self-existence, mere designation. So remember that, then automatically in the mind, the appearance of these automatically disappear. Then they understand of ultimate reality, that wisdom itself then imagine transformed into the kabuk deity sometimes.
So into the specific meditation deity of your practice.
So that undertook sometimes. In that, that's enough. Get out to the musician. Short you. Tamajidu ju tambe ngale, tunne rubi ne jo na omo du shuwa le tama sawo de jo jo ma ya da ma la wa nya de a omo sawo me ne du so da da ba yu so de ngara ba ne mo ga ngam na ba ne so omo sawo me ne na ma so da da ba yu so de ngara ba ne mo ga ngam ngam ne so omo sawo me ne na ma so da da ba yu so de ngara ba ne mo ga ngam ngam ba ne da ye so我的妈去！我说不的是我红干了，干了呗，干了。我说不的是我红干了，干了呗，干了。说不的是我红干了。我妈那反正别人着，这样都是我讲，我就都是说到这了，都是他妈的，我们啥了，加了加，我们啥了，加了加，我们啥了，加了，我们啥了，加了加。但是嘛，建筑下的蒙古族的地里，高楼的莫去，但谈大的。다 나데 되게 안다 다지 고만 되지니 아니 산제 말라 차 초진기 아니 우벌레 동부 남수가 엔 연냠샤 통시 지금 맨나 나서 강다 되지 예사바체 dun지아도 그 충분히서 될래 말라 멤버게 탈이야 아니 말라 그러다 말라 주체네 그 말라 체드 예사바체
So now for the purpose of this blessing empowerment ceremony, you should imagine the Guru in the form of the meditation deity, here Medicine Buddha, and just as he has generated himself during the self-generation preliminary practices, so you should visualize the Guru in the form of Medicine Buddha as depicted on the painting there, with his right hand in a gesture of granting wishes by holding from the stem of a blue lotus and from a plant of medicinal plant arur, and on his left palm he is holding alms ball filled with medicinal plants. And then on the space where the altar is set, there is a mirror surface with a few
actually seven
colored,
seven medicine Buddha.
So you should imagine there to be a principal medicine Buddha surrounded by 6 other Buddhas of that mandala. So altogether 7 medicine Buddhas. So generally we speak of 7 Buddhas of the medicine Buddha family.
Something like brothers. The story I don't know.
So in fact in the Tibetan tradition they are referred to as the 7 brothers of medicine Buddha family. So His Holiness was saying, I don't know how they are brothers, I don't know the story. So you should make an aspirational prayer requesting the Guru to grant the blessings of medicine Buddha. So we will not repeat the verses. So next is the practice of the 7-limb puja or worship, and here at the beginning first for the lamp you should imagine making a bow to the 7 medicine Buddhas out of deep reverence and faith from the depth of your heart, and imagining bowing to them from your body, speech and mind. Here.
두개 오다다래. 다죠. 다ኛ를 차차야 나체. 다때네 초박해야라. 다부 송어도 뭐 송어. 다가듯이 뭐 샴바도 얘기 주고 소 소sun 거네. 고숨 겨사샤도 디디 주베셔바이 삼바체.
So next is the limb of making offerings. So you should make offerings to the 7 Buddhas of the Buddha Medicine Buddha family, thinking about all the things that you can offer, both things that belong to people and those things which are not owned by any people. And most importantly, you should imagine making offerings of all your virtues of body, speech, and mind that you have accumulated, and imagining making these offerings as offerings of your own personal practice.
다드네 슝크시나 되어다 디시셔고 세드제 샹든 코나마도 다마 샹든도 툭게 에 당고 봐줘 상 개바 상 자신부지 셴네 간다 샹든 시도 미고 인도산에 다니 엔 대다게 더 샹든도 차진도 의기요 삼부지.
And the next, you should understand that, as explained in some text, that by reflecting upon the conduct of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the past, and by remembering how these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have totally dedicated their entire being to the fulfillment of others' welfare, and therefore you make the wish that I shall offer my entire being to these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, so that they can, that I will become a part of their service to helping other sentient beings. Next limb is declaration and purification of negativity.
소수 고순기 샹을 네베 바 자와체샤바 딘데베다 자외릭 타달로 샤 삼바셰
So
하버 랑진진기 샹왕도 땅네 애니 샹을 네베릭 샤바티 샤 삼바셰.
So here you should develop the thought that I shall declare and purify all the actions, negative actions that I've committed from my body, speech, through my body, speech, and mind, actions that have been harmful to others, and specifically those actions that have been motivated by extreme self-centeredness, and as a result has caused harm upon other sentient beings. So you should develop the strong thought that I shall declare them from the depth of my heart and purify these negative actions.
대신도 다도 짐배 왕게 아니 고순기 머rum부쳐 삼으로 샤.
And here also you should develop the thought that I shall declare and purify all the harmful actions that I've committed as a result of grasping onto a self-existence.
샤바 다 제수이랑 야사도 잡은 남기 아니 전쇼도 tukki 아니 자가가 잡을로 샹든 나가 제수이 발언자 디들 니고 리베딩 제수이라고 쳐 샹 안다 나게 태도 심지 수도 심지 윤우 쪽에 지 겨와 지 치중 가래 사셔 디들 제수이라 쳐.
And next limb is rejoicing, and here you should reflect upon all the enlightened activities of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas equal to the extent of space, how these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have always engaged in altruistic activities of helping others. So you develop a strong, deep sense of rejoicing and admiration in these deeds, and also you should develop a sense of admiration and rejoicing in the virtuous deeds done by all other sentient beings, regardless of how great and how minute these actions may be. You develop a strong sense of rejoice and admiration in the positive and virtuous activities of all other sentient beings.
야. 찾아와도 주식 샤바도 제수이랑 의신이다 전고고.
And next limb is making the request to the Buddhas not to turn the wheel of Dharma.
양안에도 어서도.
And then next is making an appeal not to enter into final nirvana.
되네. 애는 뭐
And finally, the next limb is dedication.
Yeah, that is something that is the thing.
So, with these thoughts as a preliminary reflections, we will then proceed with generation of the bodhichitta, the awakening mind.
That is inhalation.
Yes. So, and we will here read the following stanzas for this. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening, for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world.
And the non-Buddhist in Pembe Samba said, choose some log, the Lord Buddha, so in Rarang Tumba, Rarang Timne said and Tembetone, or that take commodity to the Chigi, some delivery.
So, when participating in this ceremony of generating the bodhichitta, the awakening mind, if within this, members of the audience, there are some who are not practicing Buddhist, then here you can utilize this occasion to reinforce your own kind of reverence to the essence of the teachings of your own faith tradition, because altruism and compassion is really the essence of the spiritual teachings of all great religions. So in participating in this ceremony, you can develop the thought that from this point onwards, I shall dedicate my life and live it according to the teachings of my own teacher, and reflect upon the teachings on altruism and compassion.
And even those non-believers think we got the human life. We have such wonderful sort of human intelligence, and also we have the wonderful sort of potential of infinite altruism. So, in order to be meaningful life, meaningful human life, now till my death, I will do so that, if possible, serve as much as possible other. If not, at least will not harm anyone, particularly towards mosquito. The Lama, Guru himself also is sometimes not a very good relation with mosquito. So we must make sort of kasota effort. So, 2 times repeat that word.
So I'll repeat it twice again. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening, for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening, for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world.
Okay. That's Rana Susu Gurgania Mela Tishike Sabache.
So now at this point, imagine that at your crown are the 7 or 8 medicine Buddhas.
Or Melchi doing Buddha.
Sorry, the 7 medicine Buddhas.
The Jumdende Tivayana Tishike.
So when you include the Buddha Shakyamuni, then it becomes a group of 8.
Susan Gurgania, Daniela Juru Jumdende Melache. Da Dine Da Yanyulia, any Nangji Garbo, Nangji Master Nietzsche. That the cash scheme do. That Malazo was Sumrich and the D. Udrisha. inuti.
Yes.
Here, the was a medicine Buddha, then two other disciples. Then on top of that, another medicine Buddha. So all 7 medicine Buddha, that was jigang.
One stacked upon the other.
That is yeah. Tata sandals. That Homer 이게 다야 유간의 토식 예대에 또 당구이기 디지털 양도 접에 상계 천 레벨 용자 배기 개부 다 배기 개부 당구다 들이야 아니 가서 그게 찬스지 교수치고 삼바체.
So you have visualized at the above your crown the 7 medicine Buddhas, one stacked upon the other. So now, directing your attention to the one on the top, you
The 7th.
On the 7th one on the top, you imagine making prostrations to that Buddha. And then making an appeal to that Buddha to grant blessings. And then, as a result of that, the first medicine Buddha, the one on the top, dissolves into the next one.
rinpoche dawa da peme ru ke ba sa sto mari ke ba siji dang gi ge bo da siji dang gi ge bo
So then the second Buddha is the brilliant radiance of skill.
dan da le ya cha se ge su chi jing ge lu du su sa ba che.
So then again you imagine making prostrations to that medicine Buddha and requesting and taking refuge in that medicine Buddha and requesting for the granting of blessings.
Da de ma rinjin da yu du shu ne sa sang chi mi ju gu tem.
So as a result of this medicine Buddha too dissolves into the next one, which is the Buddha stainless excellent gold.
Yan da le ya cha se so da.
Then once again, you make prostrations to this medicine Buddha and seek refuge in him and request for blessings.
Da de ma tim ni sa sang chi mi we du shu ne nyang e me sho pe ju gu tem.
So as a result of that, he too dissolves into the next one, which is the Buddha supreme glory, free from sorrow.
Da de so da.
And then again, once again, you make a request to this Buddha.
Da de ma we du shu ne nyang e me sho pe we du shu ne chura ja zu yang ji gu tem.
So as a result of that, he too dissolves into the next one, which is the Buddha melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma.
Da de so da.
And once again, you make a request to this Buddha.
Da de so de be gengi de shu chura ja zu yang we du shu ne ngun ji ge bu gu tem.
So as a result of this, he too dissolves into the next one, which is the Buddha delightful kings of clear knowing.
Da de we du shu ne ngun ji ge bu we du shu ne da rang ji zu lu yo de be medicine Buddha ma tem.
So as a result of that, he too melts into light and dissolves into the next Buddha, which is the medicine Buddha himself, which is at your crown.
Da medicine Buddha le ya 그게 차스시 띄우시와다. 진지로도 써요, 냐바체.
So with this now you develop the thought wishing to make prostrations to the medicine Buddha, Guru, and to seek refuge in him and request blessings from him.
대다수 때문에 경기 멤버께 비굴에 외세 중디 랑기 주원에 긍디기 바탐제 강 지금 내다 된다 디버다 집어 탐자로 바 상기 탁을 쳐서 삼바체 뒤지균도 외생이 균중네 어느 내든 디르 탐자로 상기 다소 삼바체 아니 또 장주심 전야다 동力다와 전야 자오상다.
So, as a result of making prostrations to this medicine Buddha and also taking refuge in him and requesting him to grant you the blessings, as a result of this, you visualize nectars and light rays are flowing from his body, which fills your entire body from the crown down to the tip of your toes. And because of this, you should imagine that all of your negative karma, all of your obscurations, all of your defilements, and all of your vulnerability to external spells and so on, all of these have been cleansed. And also, at this point, you should try to recollect your understanding of bodhichitta, the awakening mind, and also your understanding of shunyata, emptiness.
장주 쌤다 동力다와 쳔베 다 동력 다와 가서 관배 gen기 아니 란진진데 덴징기 왕게 다 사셔베 되고도 집어 지나간 개진 삼을로 봐다 세소 사바체.
So, as a result of recollecting your own personal understanding and experience of awakening mind, bodhichitta, and the view of emptiness, you should imagine that all the negativities and non-virtuous activities and obscurations that have been created through self-grasping and self-cherishing, all of these have been cleansed as well. And then imagine that this medicine Buddha, Paisha Guru, now enters and dissolves through your crown into you. And then imagine that. So imagine that the medicine Buddha's body, speech, and mind has now become inseparable from the subtle body and speech and mind of yourself.
The grosser body, the pasha, subtle body, pasha,
So now at this point, reflect that when you set aside your grosser level of body and also when you set aside your subtler level body, then you don't find anywhere, any locus that you can point to it and say, this is the self, this is me. So self does not exist.
차단 걸로베 쇼진 gen지부 지대야디 나도 다지에 삼바 데이터네 다 중대버디 샹파 카페베이나 녀그라는 신경이 상황도 다도 집어디기 제리거든.
So just as you yourself come to realize that all the complications that you have created, where you have taken so seriously the concerns of this self, and as a result you have reacted to events out of attachment and strong aversions and so on. All of this were done on the basis of an assumption of there being something called true self, a real self. So once you come to recognize this, then you can extend that understanding onto others, and we will come to recognize that all the problems that we see, all the complications and all the problems that are in the world are ultimately resulting from this kind of grasping, strong grasping at a kind of a notion of a self, a real self.
So today you do that, 심지어 타다게 규기 추별로 뒤에 다 시기 삼바지 말음시죠.
So now at this point you make an aspirational prayer that I shall help dispel all these distorted understanding views that exist in all other sentient beings as well.
다 진짜게 다도 매번 예등에기 로티니 멜레스 구술 샤송샤.
And then you should imagine that this understanding of no self that you have just cultivated, this understanding of anatman, that understanding, that mind itself now takes the form and assumes the form of medicine Buddha, Bhaishya Guru.
구다가는 신식 다 사서 삼바시.
So just as depicted on the painting here.
나다죠. 다 드리기 매래 꾸르세에 지울 말이다. 말만해. 다 도스무죠. 지울 림버 투고 홍기 틀리나라 몸만 참바시.
So now visualize that this medicine Buddha, his 3 points of his body are marked by the 3 syllables. Om on his crown, on his throne, a white Om at his crown, a red at his throat, and blue Hum at his heart, marked with Om. A blue Om in the bindu of that tilina. In the drop, in the bindu of that Hum.
구다는 신체니 예수 창심 갈부직 연도 창심 마스직.
So he is flanked on his 2 sides. On his right side is a white bodhisattva, and on his left side is a reddish, yellow or orange bodhisattva. So you should imagine that you yourself has assumed this form now.
다데네 라마 맨지 제부르 세베 두개 외시기 초주 상제 장주 삼바 탐제 매레 체등은 나바로 조충은 인천으로만 팀수 사바나쇼.
So now visualize that the Guru in the form of medicine Buddha, from his heart, light rays emanate toward all directions and draws forth all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the form of medicine Buddha, who then dissolve into you.
다데네 로비 멤베 제브르세 두개다 사변 안다 홍문기 찬데바 가자 홍 엄기 찬데바 다디 타고리야 전주치하고 낭고 바 유사바제 되네 전주체인잖아요. 아니 ngaji chang lame shana ma chung kyaranzu medicine budol session de shana ma shu ini ninge thagoli ya ngango khoso sabacha ini ngaji shino molu thoso sabashi.
So next is the blessing of the mantra. So here you should visualize at the heart of Guru in the form of medicine Buddha. At his heart is this syllable, seed syllable Hum marked with an Om, and visualize now this Hum marked with Om being surrounded by the medicine Buddha mantra, and when you do the repetition, you imagine the string of mantra emerging out of the Guru's mouth, which enters through your mouth, yourself still in the form of medicine Buddha, and the string of mantras enters through your mouth and so it stands around the syllable Hum at your heart, and in this way you receive the blessing of the mantra. So repeat after me.
Namo Bhagavate.
Namo Bhagavate.
Bekhanse. Guru Benduya. Pavaranzaya. Tatagadaya. Arahade. Samyasam. Buddhaya. Tayatha. Om Bekhanse. Maha Bekhanse. Samungade Soha. Namo Bhagavate. Bekhanse. Guru Benduya. Pavaranzaya. Tatagadaya. Arahade. Samyasam. Buddhaya. Tayatha. Om Benze. Mare. Om Bekhanse. Maha Bekhanse. Samungade Soha,
Rajasmukadesu,
Nam Bhagavade,
Namu Bhagavade,
Bekaze,
Begaze,
Guru Bindruya,
Guru Benduya,
Pavaranzaya,
Rabarazaya,
Tadagadaya,
Tathagataya,
Arahade,
Arhate,
Samyasam,
Samyasam,
Budaya,
Budaya,
Dayata,
Tayata,
Bekanze,
Om Begaze,
Bekanze,
Begaze,
Maha Bekanze,
Maha Begaze,
Samungade Soha.
Samugadesu.
That's true. That's a Mele Sungadi, she Nigeria. That land, Kasher. Ringustuga, Beligil, Compa in Nishu's day. And Ladon of the Shi, Nan as of the Yombe Kudu, Menju Chevekulia, Mele Sunga the Tana, young I Tandy, Millie Town Chu, Minna was doing the shady, that Menju Chevekudu, Mele Sunga, what's the Mele Sunga, the Drama Sunga Chaya. Those pingri, Tenjins on the pingri. And my pen, and I'm telling you.
So now that you have received the mantra recitation blessing of Medicine Buddha, on a daily basis, if you can recite as some amount of this mantra, it's helpful. Of course, it's kind of slightly longish mantra, but as you repeat it on a regular basis, it'll become easier and easier, more familiar. But in any case, especially if you are taking medication of a treatment of some illness, then in those at those times, then it is really helpful to try to recite the Medicine Buddha mantra. I do that myself in my own case, and also I encourage others when they undergo medical treatment. I tell them to recite the Medicine Buddha mantra, and also Tara's Goddess Tara's mantra. And I find them beneficial, and I think it will be beneficial. In any case, even if it doesn't benefit, it won't harm.
Maybe a little waste of time. Otherwise, no problem.
So, in fact, instead of being kind of
worry.
Instead of wallowing in one's own worry, it's better to just repeat mantras.